One of the most important features of the Seder table is, of course, your Seder plate. The reason why we have a Seder plate is that we have in front of us all the basic symbols that we need to talk about or reflect upon during the Seder. The themes of Pesach revolve very much around food and the different symbols of food being, on the one hand, symbols of slavery, on the other hand, symbols of freedom. So, for example, on our Seder plate, we're going to have the maror, which are the bitter herbs, either horseradish or romaine lettuce, which are there to be eaten to remind us of the bitter taste of the Egyptian experience. We have the charoset, which is the paste-like mortar made from apples, the cinnamon, bit of wine, and to symbolize the mortar, the bricks that were made by the Jewish people while they were slaves in Egypt. We then have some other symbols of freedom. For example, the zroah, the shank bone, which today most people use either a chicken wing or a chicken neck. The symbol of the zroah was the paschal lamb that the Jewish people ate on that fateful night when they left Egypt, and subsequently every year when the temple was standing. The egg, symbolized by the matza, symbolizes the Korban Chagiga, the festival sacrifice, which was also eaten as a symbol of freedom and joy over the festival, over this time of year. The parsley, which is normally the karpas or any green. You can use celery sticks. You can use, some people even use potatoes, but any vegetable can be used for as your karpas. Is dipped into the salt water as part of the symbols either of the start of springtime or as the initial act of dipping. So when they symbolically dipping the hyssop into the blood, which was then sprinkled on the doors on that fateful night. These are the 6 symbols that are on your Seder plate. Of course, don't forget the main feature of the Seder plate or Seder, which of course is your matzah. What type of matzah should we eat? According to tradition, any matzah is kosher for Pesach. We have a stringency known as a chumrah to try and eat what is called matzah shmura. What is the difference between regular matzah and Shmuramata? Besides the cost, or the reason for the cost, is that regular matzah is only watched from the time that the flour and water are mixed together. Shmuramata is already watched from the time of the harvesting to make sure that no moisture gets onto the wheat, or the wheat from that moment, all the way through to the final act of baking. We try, every time we have a chance to do a mitzvah, we try to do the mitzvah the best way possible, and thus it is a tradition amongst many Jews to try and have shmura matzah, guarded matzah on the night of Seder. What should you choose? To have machine-baked or handmade? The tradition till the 1800s was, of course, all matzah was hand-baked. It was only with the advent of the industrial age that we have the introduction of the machine-baked matzahs, the square sheets that we have to this very day. The choice is up to you. If you want to have machine-baked matzah, or you want to try and eat a matzah which was eaten throughout the centuries. There's a major difference between Sephardi matzah and Ashkenazi matzah. Ashkenazi matzah is more like a cracker. Sephardi is what they call soft matzah, is more like a lafa. So there's a major difference between the two different communities. How much matzah should one eat at the Passover Seder? Now that's a good question. According to the halacha, we say like this: you need to eat an olive volume or olive weight of matzah. How much is that? Approximately 28 grams. A sheet of matzah is about 30 grams. So just almost a full sheet of matzah should be eaten at each stage of the Seder. How many times do we eat matzah at the Seder? Believe it or not, we actually eat matzah 4 times. We eat 4 motzi, which we do for any Shabbat or Yom Tov, when we say the blessing over bread, motzi lechem min aretz, it's one sheet. Then there's a special obligation on Seder night called matzah, al-achilat matzah, the mitzvah of eating matzah, is a second sheet. We then have a third piece, which is eaten for korech, for the hillel sandwich. And finally, at the end of the meal, when you are all so full, we then eat from the afikoman. Here's something that most people don't know. Eating the afikoman is not just eating a little sliver from the found piece of afikoman. It also means supplementing it with another at least half a sheet of machine baked matzah. That is the matzah story, and I hope that this helps you in your preparation for your Pesach Seder.